What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I am back with my latest and last 31 days of horror reviews. This entire month of October, I've been watching a horror movie every single day, 31 horror movies in 31 days, and I have been giving you guys some quick reviews every week, and this is my last one today. As I'm recording this, it is October 31st, and I just watched my 31st, so I'm going to go ahead, give you reviews of everything I watched this week, and kind of recap the month in general. But before I do so, if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. Go ahead and hit that bell icon, that way you get notified every time we drop new videos. If you could give me a thumbs up down below just to help the video out, and leave in a comment if you like any of these movies, if you've seen any of them, if you haven't seen any of them, let me know your thoughts. All right, so wrapping up this week, got a bunch of Scream Factory stuff I watched, and then two other ones. We're going to start off with The Howling. So I watched The Howling. I'll be honest with you, this is not a movie that I've seen very much. I think I saw it one other time, a long time ago, and it's okay. As far as I know there's been somewhat of a debate between The Howling or American Werewolf in London. For some reason, those two get, which is the better. But I would definitely say American Werewolf in London, and I'm not even the hugest fan of that movie either, but this movie's just okay. The storyline does tend to drag a little bit. I don't know. It's not my favorite. I like Dee Wallace. I like her pretty much in everything she was in the 80s. I mean, she's pretty good there. Joe Dante directing. The makeup effects are pretty good, but it just has a really weird tone, and the storyline is very, it's bizarre. It's just such a weird movie. I think it's just all right. Not one that I plan to revisit anytime soon. I'll probably give it like a 5 out of 10. I don't know. It's not my favorite movie. Next up is one called Motel Hell. This was a first time watch. I've never seen this movie, and I didn't like this movie. I did not like this movie. This is not my cup of tea. This is not my style of a horror movie at all. It's more in line with a horror comedy, which I do like horror comedy, but the storyline here, the execution of it is just not good. You literally are here. They drop you right in with this crazy couple who is farming people to use for their meat in their smoked meats and stuff like that. I guess sausages and all. But they just drop you right in. There's no backstory. There's no build up. There's no intrigue. There's no scares. There's no suspense or anything like that. I mean, it's barely a horror movie. It's pretty much just like a dark comedy, and it's not very funny either. So I didn't like it. Definitely my turkey of the week. This week it was the worst one I watched. And I definitely don't plan to ever watch that. Most likely we'll be getting rid of that one. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. And that's just because at the end there's a chainsaw fight that's kind of cool. But other than that, not for me. Did not enjoy. Next up is going to be Piranha. Now this is of course Joe Dante again. So 1978, another Joe Dante film like The Howling. I like Piranha better. I think Piranha is I don't think it's great. It definitely came out. It's a Jaws. Jaws came out in the 70s. Big hit. And this is kind of a knockoff of that, Ferocious Things in the Water. And they play it straight. That's why I think the movie's okay. It mostly works because they play it straight. And they basically you have these people, and of course it's a military movie, which there's something in common with the next movie I have too. The military doing testing with these fish, and they end up getting loose into the wild, and they start eating people. I respect this movie because they eat kids at the end, which is kind of crazy. They just got all these kids getting chomped by piranhas, and yeah, it's okay. It's an okay movie. I would give it a 6 out of 10. I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think it's that bad either. Next up is Return of the Living Dead. Now, another military one. Military experiments gone wrong. I know this has a really big kind of cult following. I think it's good. I think it's a fun movie. That is a horror comedy that works better for me. I do find it to be more entertaining than Motel Hell, for example. Cool effects. Pretty cool effects. I do like that. Dan O'Bannon directing it. Yeah, it's a fun movie. I can't say much more. It has cool music. I like the score in there. Actually, it's really good. And as far as zombie movies, zombie is not my favorite genre, but that one's a little more fun to me than some of the other ones. The characters are kind of goofy, and so that kind of helps it. But yeah, it's an entertaining film. I would give that one a 7 out of 10. I enjoy it. Next up, Wes Craven, The People Under the Stairs. Now, this movie is weird. This is another weird one. I feel like I watched some really weird movies this week. You get this kid, and Ving Rhames, I always forget. I've seen this movie a couple times, and I forget Ving Rhames is in it. every single time I go to watch it, I'm like surprised to see Ving Rhames. But you have this kid, his family's going to get evicted from their apartment. So Ving Rhames comes up with this idea to go rob them because he knows they have gold. He goes to their house and it turns out that they're like this brother and sister freakazoid couple who have kidnapped a bunch of kids and they live under the stairs. That literally they live like in a basement. Yeah, it's basically I don't know what to compare. It's almost, I can't even really compare it to anything. They got this house full of like tunnels and stuff. It's another one that is it is funny. It's not scary at all, but it has a weird tone, but it's very entertaining. It is a very entertaining movie. Really crazy storyline, but a lot of fun. I enjoy that one. Not perfect, but a 7 out of 10. I like that one. All right, next up, I watched It Follows. This is the 4K, of course, from Second Sight. I was interested to check it out in 4K. It looks amazing, by the way. The 4K is great. That movie is very good. I did say on my recent Instagram Live, I did a video where I didn't like this as much this time as I did the first time I saw it. It's not a movie I've rewatched, really. I saw it at the theater, and I left the theater really enjoying it. And it's been years, like literally almost 10 years or so since I saw it. Sat down. It was pretty much what I remember, but I just liked it a little less this time. I don't know what it was. I still think the storyline's very clever, using sex as this teenage sex pretty much. And there's this like thing that follows you and will kill you unless you sleep with someone else, and then it goes passed on to them. And why I like it is like it does deal sort of, I wish it did more, but it sort of deals with the question of, would you be willing to just literally sacrifice someone else so that you can live by sleeping with random people and things like that? And I think there's some good questions there. I enjoy it. Yeah, I know a lot of people boil it down to, it's a haunted STD. I mean, if you want to go as simple and basic as you can, it is that. But there's a lot of more layers to it if you really analyze it. And I think it's a very good film. 8 out of 10. I like that one. And it's very well shot and acted. And last, the one I just watched today, Disturbing Behavior. This movie, this is one I remember liking this a lot when I was a kid. This came out in, 1990 something. Late 90s. I know that. This is a late 90s movie. I'm trying to check the back of the box to see. Oh, well, I can't find it, but you got a young Katie Holmes, James Marsden, little Nick Stahl action. That was one I liked as a kid, and rewatching it now, it's weird. I wish that I enjoy it for the 90s-ness of it, because I do love 90s films, and I like the young cast. Again, Katie Holmes, James Marsden, also Bruce Greenwood is in there, Catherine Isabelle, if you're like a horror fan, she's in a lot of horror movies. So a good cast, and again, very 90s aesthetics and music and stuff, but I just feel like it got chopped up a lot. Like the movie's 84 minutes. It seems like there was 15 minutes left somewhere that would have explained things a little better. And to my knowledge, this movie had some studio interference and all this kind of stuff. So I think, or test audiences issues, I think there's a way better version out there somewhere. But as it is, it's a little sloppy, but it's still nostalgic for me. I think it's pretty good. I give it a 6 out of 10. So that is what I watched at the end here. Please let me know down below. I think this 31 Days of Horror was okay. I did see a couple of stinkers. I did see a couple of really good movies, but I didn't see anything that blew me away this I don't think I gave a single 10 out of 10 this month, or this year, I should say. So I don't know. We'll see what happens next year. Until then, take it easy.